think of our field of attention as a hyperbolic circular field that gets blurry towards the edges. Now imagine a light radiating from the center, illuminating our conscious thoughts, leaving our most unconscious thoughts and memories at the furthest, most unfocused edges and in the darkest of shadows. And salience, from Google, the quality of being particularly noticeable or important. Prominence, personally, I'd also throw in a sense of how significant something is, being a force within our minds that drags relevant thoughts and memories into our field of attention. New thoughts and inspirations seem to come from an unconscious pool of possibilities that get brought to our attention if they are relevant. Past thoughts or memories are also retrieved on behalf of how relevant they are. In essence, salience is what makes thoughts seem important or even interesting. Highly salient thoughts seem to almost radiate a sense of significance, excitement, or importance. Salience also seems to influence our senses, drawing our attention to important or relevant objects existing within or events transpiring within our perceivable environment. This applies to all five senses. It is my belief that our temperament of thought, which I will later define, mental fixations, internal sensations, and current mood affect what we find salient. While salience is already a broad concept in psychology, I personally conceptualize and model it as being almost a force acting on thoughts, or even as a property of thoughts. That meaning, thoughts or sensations can be of high salience or low salience. I believe there also exists a threshold of salience and a degree of intensity to which salience affects the mind, making thoughts more buoyant within the mind, more quickly bubbling up from our memory and edges of consciousness. The higher the intensity of salience, the more intense the thoughts will enter our conscious field of attention. The lower the threshold of salience, the less directly relevant a thought has to be to become salient. I also add that the closer a thought gets to the center of focus, the more thoroughly it is evaluated by factors other than salience, such as one's personal values, fixations, reasoning, and archetypes and complexes similar to those Carl Jung describes. I define temperament of thought as the property or interacting properties of our mind that affect the kind of information we find most salient. Keep in mind that I am unsure of this, but I believe some are more likely to find unexplored thoughts salient, while others less so. What I mean by this is that some live for the exploration of ideas, assigning salience to ideas which may provide some further insights, processing and digesting of these ideas to obtain their intellectual nutrients. I believe there are different modalities of this temperament as well. The first description of searching for and then processing ideas for their insights, finding seemingly promising ideas salient based on how many insights they can produce. Another modality would be the construction of new concepts and phenomena from an existing understanding of concepts and phenomena. This is just one example of a temperament. If temperament can change, what can change it, or what causes it? Are all questions to be further explored. How many temperaments and how many modalities in each temperament exist? If temperament can change, what changes it or what causes it are all questions to be further explored. Also, how many temperaments and how many modalities of each temperament exist. I cite a lot of thought coming out of Carl Jung's theory of personality and its derivatives for my contemplations on temperament. But this may not be the end-all be-all, and further exploration, redefinition, refinement, or even replacement of these concepts may be in order. One interesting scientific hypothesis I find interesting, and how I first learned of the concept of salience in psychology, is aberrant salience. A hypothesis proposed by Dr. Shiriji Kapur. It proposes that, I might be butchering that name, it proposes that dopamine is linked to salience, and aberrant salience is a state in which salience is loosely and intensely given to normally insignificant or irrelevant sensations and thoughts as a result of heightened dopaminergic activity seen in psychosis, resulting in first ideas of reference, ultimately leading to delusions of reference, and furthermore to complex delusions, as well as loose associations between cause and effect. This concludes my citation of aberrant salience. I have only briefly read up on it, and I should honestly read more about it before taking inspiration from it, and I likely will in the future, as I've found the little I've read highly interesting. I acknowledge I may be unknowingly making points that seem new to me, but have already been covered in Dr. Shiriji Kapur's aberrant salience hypothesis. This concludes my citation of aberrant salience. Whoa, did I write that twice? Okay, let's keep going. What I'm getting at in this video essay, whatever you will, is that understanding of conscious or perhaps even unconscious thought with salience at the center is that an understanding of conscious or perhaps even unconscious thought with salience at the center as a driving force may be an interesting viewpoint of further interest and development. While other cognitive forces and processes are definitely at play, I believe salience undoubtedly plays a large role in cognition and the conscious experience as a whole.